You were embarrassed until they found out that you inherited everything at the will reading. Entering the vast estate, a location designed to make visitors uncomfortable who are not members of the community, is when the moment begins. The opulent attire and diamond necklaces they are sporting stand in sharp contrast to your everyday attire. You sense that they are staring at you, and that their judgment will suddenly descend upon you and destroy you. Based on the cloth bag you are carrying, they conclude that you are impoverished. Their perception is that your unlabeled clothing is meaningless. The fact that everything in this room will be legally yours in a few hours is entirely unknown to them. Every single chandelier, every single picture, and every single acre of land will legally belong to you. As if they were a bodily burden, you can feel their eyes pressing down on you. The conversations that were going on inside halt as you get closer to the large hall. Expensive perfume is wafting across the air. Light diffusing chandeliers brighten the marble flooring. The gleam of old currency gleams on all surfaces, including polished wood, leather, and crystal. Each person shines, but so do diamonds, silk gowns, and fitted suits that are more valuable than your whole closet. Every time you go into places that weren't designed with people like you in mind, you get that familiar knot in your gut. You've encountered it before, whether it was in a corporate office or the corridors of a university. Invisible borders are sometimes created by wealth and position, giving you the impression that you are being assessed and deemed unworthy before you have ever spoken. But you stand tall because of something that is deep inside you, the awareness that you cannot be touched by them. You slip into a position near a tall window that views out over the beyond hazy hills. You do not provide an explanation or an apology, while you stand still, observing and maintaining your distance. You are expressing that you belong wherever you want to stand, just by being there. Their whispered murmurs become bolder. Their whispered chatter turns into outbursts of laughter among themselves at your expense. Seriously, who allowed the cleaning staff to enter? Questions the wealthy heir, wearing the gold watch, leaning against the mahogany doorframe and speaking in a deliberately loud voice. The relatives around them laugh aloud at their comments, which are as brittle and hard as glass breaking. You hear people say things like, "Someone like that is not supposed to be in this place," and they don't bother to hide their voices. There is more laughing and more piercing looks as the person in scarlet goes on. Perhaps they are here to dust the will before it is read. The purpose of each sentence is to delete or decrease. You become the center of attention that you do not want when the affluent relative in the expensive suit points at you. Their gestures turn you into a spectacle for their own amusement by causing their Rolex to catch the light. You become the object of amusement, and your dignity is the punchline to a joke that you never consented to. You have had the experience of being the outsider, the person who others think is unimportant, the one whose humanity is optional, and the person whose feelings are unimportant. Your breathing stays steady while you absorb their brutality, and you save it as evidence. For a minute, your fingers clench on your cotton bag, and your gaze stays focused on the empty chair that the lawyer will be using. Your silence makes them uncomfortable, which fuels their mockery. They see your stillness as a sign of surrender, and your poise as a sign of loss. They are incapable of appreciating the serene power that a self-aware person holds. The steel below is invisible to them. Phones that emerge out of nowhere record your suffering without your permission. Found the charity case crashing the will reading. Guess thrift store chic gets them $1 billion. The youthful IT sector entrepreneur with flawless nails taps frantically at their screen. Immediately, the hashtag is used. Your photo will be turned into a digital token. Your dignity is what makes their jokes so amusing, and your presence is what keeps them delighted. You get a ton of comments from strangers who call you desperate and label you a nothing. Your humanity is reduced to a commodity that may be consumed by people who will never know your name, and your entire existence is devalued to the point of shame. You see individuals tagging friends, adding remarks, and sharing your photo with strangers, among other actions. With every sharing signifying a fresh betrayal, and every remark signifying a fresh wound, the breach spreads via digital ripples. The person in the velvet blazer approaches you when you're not looking, writes "charity case" on a cocktail napkin, and then tucks it inside your bag strap. As soon as the crowd notices, snickers start to fly. People are pointing at you from behind. In addition to being cruel, the prank is a display of power. They have made you into a laughingstock because you dared to live among them. Instead of exposing your worth, each cruel word exposes the poverty of their feelings. Typo men. To embrace the angel's blessings, show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. You're not just here. Feel the pull. To access truth, purpose, and a tribe that understands it, tap join. This goes beyond just being a member. You're meant to do this. The investor in pinstripes leaps up, their fingers twitching with anger, and declares, "This person is a fraud." Their friend, dressed in an emerald, then adds, "They've probably got a fake ID in that rag of a bag." The audience's murmurs keep growing. Their act is sustained by your unwavering silence. You know that this is a divine sorting, and that's just what it is. The universe is mathematically classifying souls into groups, such as those who perceive humanity versus those who merely see its surface, or those who hold love versus those who harbor hate. Your presence acts as a straightforward trigger, enabling the sorting to take place organically and without your direct intervention. Their conduct reveals the truth about their identity and what affluence has been able to disguise. No matter how perfect the outfit is, it cannot hide the imperfections below. The diamond necklaces cannot deflect anybody's attention from the absence of empathy. The expensive watches they wear cannot hide their spiritual bankruptcy, which allows them to treat another being with such casual brutality. You feel strangely disconnected right now, like if you're staring down from above. You can clearly see the situation without being influenced by your emotions when your awareness is a little removed from it. The security camera in the corner is glowing red and keeps recording everything. In this case, you realize that you are not the one being judged, since they cannot see what you see, and they cannot know what you know. Yet they are. This trial is not about you. It is about them, and they are failing terribly, publicly, and irrevocably. Their souls are on exhibit. Their personalities are captured in crystal clear detail. Additionally, their true selves are preserved in digital memory that will last beyond their costly legacy. The large suitcase and the gray suit are the only objects in the room when the lawyer enters. The striking of the hour is so precise that it seems to have been orchestrated by forces outside the room. The mob splits naturally, as if they were subjects before kings and queens. Therefore, there is no preamble or flourish while making a transition to the front. The lawyer, who has seen better days, is holding the paperwork that will make all the difference. After setting the briefcase on the table, they open it and take out a sealed envelope. The sound of wax shattering is audible, despite the silence of the room. Every motion is ceremonial and purposeful. Allow your love to show if God's gifts fill your heart to overflowing. To sow the seeds of faith that will change many lives, click the Super Thank You button and donate $100 or more. His riches is reflected in your giving. Serve as a conduit for His grace, and see His kingdom grow via you. The surroundings under the fingertips that have touched thousands of these tragic papers alter in some way. It can be a breeze that abruptly changes course just before the storm erupts, or it might be an unseen stream that is changing direction. The audience members' eyes are pleading for their inheritance as they lean forward and gulp for oxygen. They have been planning, preparing, and traveling across countries for this very moment. They think that a biotechnology corporation, worth billions of dollars, together with a wealth of technology, patents, and real estate, are finally up for grabs. Your pulse becomes more steady as you prepare for what you have always known would happen. You feel as if the audience's excitement and your own reality are not connected. The only person who can distinguish themselves from their hunger, greed, and desperate desire to have something in order to feel valued is you. The contents of the papers are only known to you. Your name echoes around the stunned room as the will is read. Being of sound mind, I thus proclaim this to be my last will and testament to my family, friends, and connections. One person will inherit everything I own, including corporate shares, properties, accounts, and intellectual rights. This person is my true heir and chosen successor. They are the ones who saw my truth when others only saw my wealth, who personified integrity when others sought only benefit. Their faces shift in waves, displaying shock, fear, calculation, and incredulity. The rich relatives' gold ties suddenly seem gaudy against their pale complexion, and their smiles suddenly seem tentative. The phone's screen breaks on the marble when one of the IT entrepreneurs loses control of it. The elder investor falls into their chair with a heavy weight on their neck. "Impossible," they murmur, feeling the weight of the emerald their buddy was wearing as they convey their incapacity to connect your simple facade with your true self. For the first time, you go forward and firmly take up your space without even saying you're sorry. It is cried out by someone. They were not connected. They weren't even in the club's most exclusive group. The will has been forged by someone. Your movement is quiet yet deliberate, like the tide turning. Every eye in the room has a follow-up as you move around it. You halt beside the lawyer, keeping your shoulders back and your face calm. You still carry the canvas bag over your shoulder, symbolizing your unflinching sincerity. After giving you a respectful nod, the lawyer offers you the folder containing the legal documents. These records include pictures, different types of letters, and proof of a connection they didn't want to look into. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The stillness descends on the audience like a physical burden when they finally get a glimpse of you. The person they thought was dead appears out of nowhere, standing where they should be, next to you. More of your presence floods in like a raging storm as the great hall doors open. Their shoes are worn down from travel, their outfits are simple, and they don't wear ties. The throng scatters in stunned silence. Arrogance vanishes, and whispers fade. When the complex plan is implemented, the true faces of each person emerge. But I have been watching every word, every sneer, every lie you have said. You're not here by accident. Feel the pull. Tap join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. Those who have shown even the slightest amount of kindness are still around, while those who are harsh are like chaff, they add, their voice echoing through the hallway. The only three people who stand out from the crowd of people condemning something are the nurse, who nodded kindly as you entered, the librarian who smiled at you with genuine affection, and the groundskeeper who brought you water without being asked. 3 souls made it through the exam without realizing they were being tested. Justice does not come to you through lightning. Rather, it is daybreak that brings about the necessary purification. The lawyer also produces an additional document, which is an addendum to the will that becomes effective immediately. The wealthy are hit with a gavel as their names are read aloud. Protests are drowned in the chorus of denunciation when air is made available for evacuation, and the tech entrepreneur's digital empire instantly collapses, losing thousands of followers and sponsors with brutal efficiency. This addendum declares that anyone who insults my chosen successor today will be cut off with no shares, no properties, and no contact. This moment was written a very long time ago, and you were only the instrument that it was written with. You are standing beside the person who accompanied you. During the process, justice is administered with mechanical accuracy. Your silence is a crown. You did not create this outcome. Rather, you made it possible for it to come to pass by virtue of your presence, your patience, and your willingness to be undervalued. Although the universe put together its parts, your suffering had a greater purpose than you could have possibly understood at the time. Nothing that was done to you, including mockery, cyber attack, and denial of your dignity, was random or pointless. Every trauma carved out a place inside you for understanding that could not have been obtained in any other way. Every wound created a new window to a deeper understanding. Every laugh strengthened your resolve. Every dismissal clarified your vision. The sneering of the rich heirs sharpened your sensibilities. The contempt of the person in red strengthened your boundaries. And the tech entrepreneur's digital breach increased your empathy for others who suffered similar consequences. The universe carefully separated you from your addiction to external validation, your need for approval, and your fear of standing alone. You were tempered by the fire that would have destroyed vessels that were weaker, but instead it burned away impurities and left only the essential. It is now evident to you that the fact that you were overlooked was actually your greatest asset. Every single object was turned into spiritual capital, and nothing was thrown away or chosen at random. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. The universe has been working for you from the beginning, not against you. Every door that was closed, every rejection, every dismissal, helped you reach this moment of vindication. You were able to observe without being watched, to learn, and to see the truth without any hindrance when you decided to become invisible. While they were competing with each other for attention and prestige through their performances, you were waiting in the shadows to gather information that would eventually be used for the sake of justice. It is not for your ego, but for the sake of bringing the cosmos back into harmony, not to avenge but to realign spirits according to their inherent nature. Value is not something that is bestowed by others. Rather, it exists independently of recognition. Your value was never diminished by their inability to see it, any more than clouds passing in front of the sun diminishes the amount of heat or light that it emits. You were whole when you brought your cloth bag into the room, and you remain whole even as their kingdom gradually crumbles around you. You were never valued by the opinion or approval of others. The few people who saw you clearly before the discovery are the groundskeeper who provided water without performance or expectation, the librarian who saw something familiar in your quiet dignity, and the nurse whose eyes met yours with respect. To prove that their vision extends beyond wealth, beyond position, and beyond the surface, these spirits were able to pass a test that they were not even aware was being carried out. Now that your vision has been sharpened by this experience, you have acquired the ability to recognize your kindred spirits, and you realize that there are many people who go about their daily lives without being noticed, carrying power that is hidden behind their humble appearances. That many souls of immense worth move through the world without being recognized by those whose perception is limited to brand names and bank accounts, and that many potential allies are waiting for you to be recognized. These are the people who value substance over appearance, character over credentials, and integrity over influence. At this point, you can see them across crowded rooms and sense them before they speak. And because the barrier between true souls is getting thinner, you can now recognize them in ways that go beyond the realm of conventional perception. Whereas you were misinterpreted as a sign of weakness, your quietness was actually a sign of power. Because they could not understand that true strength seldom manifests itself, they took your calmness for defeat and your silence for surrender. Just as predators do not warn their victims, storms build their power in silence before they erupt. And you, were able to watch them and take in information that they freely gave you. Every boast was an admission of insecurity. Every departure was an act of barbarism. Every act of cruelty was a specific vulnerability. Your restraint was not fear, but strategic patience. It was the wisdom to wait, to let things unfold according to their natural timing, to resist the urge for premature action that would disrupt the larger plan that was taking shape around you, and to have faith that justice moves at its own pace, requiring neither your anxiety nor your intervention. They gave you the keys to their inner worlds without realizing the doors that they were opening without their knowledge. Silence became your superpower in a noisy world. You were able to save your energy for this moment of transition while others were exhausting themselves with constant talking and defending. You have perfected the art of letting others reveal themselves without being asked to do so. You have mastered the discipline of making room for truth to naturally fill it. And you have mastered the ancient wisdom that the first person to speak loses everything, while the listener gains everything. Having the ability to distinguish authenticity from artifice, content from spectacle, and value from waste is a defining characteristic. It is not an end, but a means. It is not a destination, but a vehicle. This is the realization that power is the one who listens, while insecurity is the one who speaks. Strength perceives, while weakness acts. The true inheritance is not money or property, but discernment, which is the capacity to recognize what is beneath appearances, behind words, and beyond acts.